EU member states have decided to start sharing information on tax deals signed with big companies, and here in the European Commission they call the decision a revolution when it comes to fiscal transparency. Following the LuxLeaks scandal, which revealed how big companies paid almost nothing in tax through deals struck with authorities, tax avoidance was pushed higher up on the European agenda. In March, the Commissioner for Economy and Finance, Pierre Moscovici, proposed an exchange of information between EU member states about tax agreements. And this week, the circle was closed. In Luxembourg, under the Luxembourgish EU presidency, European finance ministers reached a political agreement to exchange information on so-called tax rulings.
Today's agreement means an end to obscure tax agreements between companies and authorities, which can facilitate tax abuse. It means more openness and cooperation between member states on corporate tax rulings, without any discretion on what information is shared and with whom.
Under the agreement, all future tax rulings will be automatically exchanged. This also applies to past rulings signed as from 2012 and that are still valid. This means 5 years of retroactivity, which is shorter than what the Commission proposed. On the other hand, the finance ministers decided to also include all past rulings as from 2014, even those that are no longer valid, which was not in the Commission proposal. Most of the information shared between EU member states will also be shared with the European Commission. Commissioner Pierre Moscovici describes this as a revolution. But even so, those who call for more tax justice are disappointed. The main reason is that the information exchange will not be made public to citizens. Tove Maria Ryding, Policy Manager for Tax Justice at Eurodad, the European Network on Debt and Development, doesn't think the decision changed much.
We saw in LuxLeaks that these secret sweetheart deals that the tax administrations are negotiating with the multinational companies are a big part of the problem. And the fact that they start sharing their secrets doesn't change the system. We still have a very big problem.
She also argues that EU countries are actually making the problem worse. More and more member states are introducing mechanisms that multinational companies use to avoid paying tax.
This is, for example, the mechanism they call patent boxes. And this is a mechanism that McDonald's has used in Luxembourg to avoid paying taxes in Europe. Now we're seeing more and more EU governments introduce these mechanisms. So in a way, it's actually going the wrong way.
Tove Maria Ryding thinks that the tax dodging scandal will continue, as the exchange of information will not make companies pay more tax. And the Luxembourgish finance minister, Pierre Gramegna, who led the discussions on information exchange, also played down the effects of the decision. He doesn't think it will make EU countries increase their tax revenues.
I would dare say normally there should be no impact at all. Because a ruling, you are just giving a confirmation on how the taxation will be applied in your country. So by having an automatic exchange of information, you're not taking away any tax from anybody.
The EU decision was made in parallel to the work of the OECD, the economic club of Western countries, which is also set to fight tax avoidance. OECD has presented a package of ideas to be discussed at the G20 meeting in Lima later this week. According to the European politicians, the EU is now in the driving seat fighting tax avoidance. But NGOs like Eurodad say that the EU and OECD are all the same, a bunch of rich countries that are not really interested in making companies pay their fair share of taxes.